Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order for the Polk County Board of Commissioners for Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. Commissioner Mordhorst is excused. We do have a quorum. Announcements are on the agendas. Extra copies are on that side table. First item up on the agenda is for comments for items not on the agenda, and you are limited to 3 minutes. And we encourage all community members to engage with public comments to the Board of Commissioners. However, out of respect for our audience and general sense of decorum, please refrain from vulgar, threatening, or inappropriate language. Sorry, I need to give that speech. Yeah, you're out. So, public comments. Please come forward if you're interested. Give us your.
Is this the part of the meeting where people can come and talk about what they want to for 3 minutes?
Yeah. Yep. Please give us your name and address for the record.
Okay, my name is Reva Vogensen. Our address is 2181 Western Heights Loop, Northwest, Salem. We're in Polk County, we're in West Salem. And I'm here today because our son had his first psychiatric break. His name is Ben, he's 32 years old. He had this break on July 8th. He's due to get out of the hospital on Thursday, and he's still psychotic. And we are very afraid to have him come home. We are working with Polk County Behavioral Health, and there are no beds. And we are not equipped to handle him. And we're really afraid. We're afraid for him, and we're afraid for us, and we're afraid for our neighbors. And we're looking for help.
So, I mean, again, this board doesn't manage any operational issues, especially not those that are that serious. But I guess your challenge is he's getting out of the hospital. Is that the psychiatric hospital?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in
And
the
so,
unit.
honestly, you know, as probably better than we do, what those challenges are at that hospital, and that essentially every county in Oregon has been fighting state government over this very issue, and that we're not equipped for it either. I mean, the best we have is outpatient services for you. And I mean, there is no way for us to facilitate what a state hospital is supposed to do. So that's my statement. That's all I can give you feedback for.
And Rena, if you could leave your contact information, happy to follow up with some more conversation. Residential treatment facilities and beds are very scarce currently. There was a new facility built in Salem. I don't know your son's situation fully. Sorry, Judge, I don't know if he's been justice involved.
Yes.
And the like, yeah. And is he, is this a conditional release? Do you know?
I haven't heard that.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Perhaps we can chat offline and just to hear a little bit more about the case,
Thank you.
okay? And you could get your information to Nicole.
Thank you. You're together?
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we've done anything, but
We appreciate it. It's very challenging statewide. Oregon invested heavily in outpatient services, which is good, as Commissioner Pope has mentioned, but there's a huge lack of beds in Oregon, as you're experiencing.
your attitude. You have somebody in Polk County Behavioral Health, though, is working with you as a caseworker.
No, we don't have a caseworker yet. Craig Thomas is working with us at the moment, who's the civil commitment investigator.
You're going to help run all that to ground?
Sure.
Yeah. For whatever we can do.
Well, what we can do is help facilitate communication and make sure people are connected to
Try
the
to make
right.
connections.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to miss any chance to
Yeah.
make things come up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Any other comments? Okay, I'm going to move on to the approval of the agenda.
I'll move approval.
And I will second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Approval of the minutes from July 9th and July 16th.
So moved.
And I will second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. And approval of the consent calendar.
I move approval.
And I will second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Monthly treasurer report, Mr. Milligan.
Morning, Commissioners. I emailed a copy of that report to you guys yesterday afternoon. I would have had it in time for getting in the packet, except that some of the entries for the accounting weren't finished in time to get that done due to year end. But I also want to address an issue of having to come to this meeting every month to do this report. There's nothing in statutes that requires this. It requires a monthly report. It doesn't require me being here. So from here on out, I'm going to pass on coming to the meeting. You'll have your reports in a timely manner. And we'll move forward for that. It was just that what happened was last month I asked to, well, I actually stated that I wasn't going to be at the meeting and that the item didn't need to be on the agenda. Then when the agenda was distributed, the item was on the agenda for me to be here. And then it was treated to, or told to a local reporter that I had an excused absence, which makes it sound like that this is a job duty for me to be here and that I have to get your permission to not be here. And that's not at all the case. So I will do my annual report, which I am technically required to do, but I won't be appearing at any more monthly meetings. But you will have your report in a timely manner.
So don't be surprised if you still continue to see the treasurer's report on the agenda every month.
Okay, that you can do that, but
Whether you
just be
choose
aware
to
that.
show up or not is your business. But we're trying to make sure we have a gateway for you.
Yeah.
So
I
that
don't
if you
need
have
to get-
something
I
to
don't- I
report,
don't need
you
to
are
get-
on the agenda so that you can address.
Well, when I need a gateway, I'll request being on the agenda.
Mm.
Why don't we do it that way?
No, it'll be on the every month. As long as I'm the chair, it'll be on the monthly rotation like we have it. If you choose to not show up or you don't have anything to add, that's fine. But we want to make certain that the door is open for you.
Yeah, well, I know the door's open for me. It's always been open. It's interesting that you want to put it in this particular way where in the last 4 years, you didn't have any interest in me being here. But now all of a sudden, after the lawsuit happened, now you have an interest in me being here every month.
We're just trying to make certain that we're providing you plenty of access.
So when I need access, I'll request it. Thank you for your time.
Okay, moving on. We have a Salem health presentation. Good morning.
Morning. My name's Jenna. We'll just introduce ourselves and we'll kind of explain what we're here for. So my name's Jenna. I'm the nurse manager on A6Es, which is an inpatient medical unit.
I'm Tia Rodriguez. I'm the Clinical Excellence Coordinator for West Valley Hospital.
My name is Savannah Ross. I'm a nurse on 860.
So we wanted to come and present a caring beyond the bedside. So just to explain that, each medical unit or each unit within the hospital that contributes to our professional governance. So that's just us beyond our care for our patients. We try to engage with our community as well. That piece is caring beyond the bedside. So each unit chooses a place, facility, outreach that we want to donate money to. This year we collaborated with West Valley. So we had a larger check to provide to the Polk County Warming Center. So we wanted to present that check along with just a financial check. We also contribute volunteer hours. That goes towards our clinical excellence ladder. So we call it APEX. So a lot of our nurses will volunteer hours as part of an opportunity to grow their career professionally and also just in general to outreach to our community. So that was our check presentation. I'm not sure if you guys have any questions about that, but.
No.
Just curious, how are these funds raised?
It's through nursing administration, actually. So Sarah Horn, our vice president and chief nursing officer, she actually approves the organizations. We have to put a paper into her with the tax ID number and stuff like that, and she approves the organizations.
And
So-
and nurses sort of determine how these
Yep.
funds are distributed and
Yep.
you're deciding to invest here and we'll.
Yep,
Yeah.
we vote
Amazing.
every year.
I think a big piece, especially for a lot of our inpatient medical units, we see a lot of homeless population. So we tend to always lean towards those that we see. So we would outreach to patients that we could have the most impact with as well. So this check is $1,110 that we'll be giving to Polk County Warming Center. And at some point after the meeting, we'd love a picture. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Brent?
Hey, this is actually the second year that they have chosen Polk County Warming Centers. We are super, super grateful. And if it's okay with the board, I'd like to have Matt Smucker come up. He directs all of our warming centers. He'll talk a little bit about how this money was used last year, how we're gonna use it this year. Because your money doesn't come with any strings, it is so nice to be able to use this money for things that other government funding won't let us use, and Matt's gonna talk about that. He also has a brief report on how the warming centers operated last year, how many days we were open. But we will definitely get a picture, and please tell all of the rest of the folks how grateful we are. It may not sound like $1,100 is a lot of money, but it is a lot of money when you run a small program like the ones that we run here. So thank you all very much.
And we try to contribute with like donation, we'll do donation drives, and then we do bring meals. So we'll do like a meal delivery. So we try to do extra.
Will you guys come on back here, Matt? You're welcome to be.
Thank you.
Picture at the end.
Thank you so much. Matt remembers when we started a warming shelter in Fall City way back when.
Way back when,
We were
yes.
just starting, so every bit helps.
Yeah, the warming centers have, to give some context, have been around here since 2018. So we just finished up our 7th winter this year. And we're very grateful for donations like this that help us go above and beyond the general grant funding that we do receive. And in particular, it really helps us to pay for things like laundry for our guests who need that. There really is no drop-in, free laundry service here in Polk County. And to my knowledge, we don't have any laundromats that have any kind of card systems. And so our clunky system in the past was giving rolls of quarters to people to go do their own laundry. But this really helps us to be able to facilitate that with our volunteers to go and sit in the laundromat and help people catch up on their laundry if they don't have access to that on their own, as well as some outreach supplies that might not be covered by our general grant funding as well. And so like I said, Polk County Warming Centers have been around since 2018 and have really seen a growing awareness and community engagement and partnership in outreach to those who are homeless here in rural Polk County, as well as just the continuum of care in even as much as, low income housing, investment in trying to build up our housing stock, because it is really a spectrum of need. The warming centers are emergency shelter and just open on our coldest nights, on freezing nights in particular. And this last winter, we were open 42 nights. It felt like a really warm winter, but we were actually open a fairly average number of nights in total. Although our first freezing night didn't come until Thanksgiving, which is very strange. We've actually had freezing nights in October before. So that was quite late. And we only had one freeze after Valentine's Day, which also is quite unusual. Our longest streak this winter was 18 consecutive nights being open. And then we also had a streak of 13 nights. So it was really in episodes this winter when we were open, and but 42 nights in total. There were 27 nights the previous winter, to give some context there. We rotated primarily between 3 different churches in Monmouth and Dallas. And we averaged about 7 guests per night that we were open here. The year round, the warming centers also operates a program called Safe Showers in Monmouth, which is open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and provides hygiene, food, and community for those who don't have access to showers and those resources on their own. It's also become an outreach hub for those who are working with the unsheltered population here as well. And we've had recently as many as 18 guests in a 3-hour period during the Safe Shower operations. And very thankful as well in that continuum of care that there are more shelters that are available in our community now to meet those needs ongoing when the warming centers are not available, including the Grand Ron Tiny Shelter Villages, Gales Lodge for veterans, Sable House for those experiencing domestic violence, River of Life houses for those who have been in the jail system, as well as the new Church of the Park shelters here in Dallas for up to 2 families at a time, and in Monmouth for up to 20 individual adults at a time. And one quick story to kind of wrap it all together. I just want to highlight the first guest in the Church of the Park shelter in Monmouth. Her name is Deborah, and she graciously shared her story. I will not go into all of her story today, but in her words, why she became homeless was because the economy overrode her income. And she attended the warming centers over the winter. She was a regular at the Safe Shower program, primarily sheltering in her vehicle over the winter. And then, like I said, has become the first resident now in the Monmouth Adult Shelter with Church of the Park. And through partnerships with FCO and the Resource Center, making connections, like I said, the Safe Shower program and the warming centers, we've really seen this partnership grow and really be able to help people with those next steps. And so we're very thankful again for the receipt of this check that will go to help continue this work. And unfortunately, I don't see the needs going away, but I do see the resources growing. And so we're very thankful for that. Thank you for your time.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Or two. I did not hear your annual budget for warming shelters in Polk County.
Yes, great question. So it's shifted over the years. We started with 25,000 for the first few years. The few years before that after that was 50,000. This last year we had a budget of 75,000. This is originating through mostly state funds through Community Action Agency out of Salem, and then administered through FCO. And we don't know what the funding looks like this next year. We're still waiting to see what those numbers look like. Yes, we have at least 1,110. Yes, currently.
And what is it spent on, Matt?
So primarily it's really to help staff the overnight. So we have 2 staff who are always on duty for that 12-hour shift, the nights that we're open, as well as some coordination expenses. And then it's really supplies. And so it's all of the bedding and mattresses, and those things are, after 7 winters, are starting to wear out and need to be replaced. As well as we try to offset some of the expenses for our host sites as well, for increased utilities and wear and tear on their facilities. We've, the last few years, have provided some carpet cleaning at the end of the winter, just to kind of help bless those who graciously otherwise, volunteer their buildings to help out.
And for the record, I'm asking these questions because somebody listens in or watches this.
Oh, yeah,
they
for
get
sure.
the answers.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, I was going to ask something and now I've lost it. Sorry.
That's okay.
Anyway, I'll move on.
So I don't have any questions, Matt. I just want to recognize your dedication to serving our most vulnerable community members. You've been doing this since I've been active in public service, and you've seen the resources expand, the partnerships expand. That's really the key word, as you know. And I'm really happy that you are now working at the Manda shelter and staying engaged. So, and not dropping the warming shelters, which is like the critical service and saves lives. And it's incredible work, and I really appreciate your dedication.
Thank you. Appreciate
I
it.
remember what I was going to ask you now. Governance. Who's the board deciding body for this work?
Yeah, so it's kind of in flux in development, I would say. We started very grassroots and have been grassroots pretty much this whole time. Brent and his department have graciously, provided some admin support and reporting and accounting for us. But it's really been me coordinating this with partnership with churches and then the city of Falls City primarily. So it's not as much an organization per se. We're not a separate nonprofit at this point. And I don't know if we will become that or if we'll shift, under another umbrella. But those conversations are happening, and we definitely see the need to kind of grow a little bit more robust administration of it as we.
Well, I just want to tell you on the record that I herald the grassroots part. And I think that in our communities shows a lot more value for real community efforts versus a nonprofit organization that will constantly put their hand out on a regular basis to keep feeding that pot. So not that there's anything wrong with that either, but I think all of us are becoming weary of nonprofits. So not that you shouldn't, but I'm just saying, I recognize how all of you that have put in efforts, and then of course with the help of FCO and its staff who do get paid to do this work. And I think it's highly valuable. So I hope you can hang on. And I appreciate everything that you've been doing over the years because you truly are dedicated. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the encouragement. And I know personally, I don't want to see this end as long as there's a need. I always tell people, if we can work ourselves out of a job in this area, I would love to do that because that means that no one is unsheltered in our community. But until then, I do want to see this work of the warming centers continue, whether it's just me or and maybe in a more sustainable way, a team of people, to keep it going. So thank you for your
Thanks so
support.
much.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully you can stick around to the end so we can do all the formalities.
Okay, we can do that.
Anything else, Brent, for now? Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. All right, we're going to move on to our USDA APHIS update. Gentlemen. You're still here?
Might I say the same?
A year and 5 months left.
About the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're knocking on the same door. So,
Introduce yourselves first.
I'm Brian Thomas, District Supervisor for the Northwest District Wildlife Services based in Salem, Oregon.
I'm Matt Alex, Assistant District Supervisor. Met you folks last year. Good to see you again.
Landon Shaw, the wildlife specialist, field guy.
Okay,
Thank you.
so, I've had conversations late last summer talking to Craig about the program. We've got something going on within the county as far as lack of communication, not just on our behalf, but as far as getting the word out that the service is available to the community. And Matt's taken it upon himself after this last year to go out, and he secured us a booth at
It was an event through OSU Extension.
at Chemeketa, but it was
Public outreach
was-
event with multiple.
Polk County was there, Yamhill County and so forth, trying to get some outreach to get recognition and get our phone number out there to folks so that we could receive more calls. In the past, we used to receive, I formerly covered Polk County 17, 18 years ago and kind of was responsible for bringing the program to light in the county here. We deal with animal-human conflict. Our request, I think this year was for $18,000. Last year it was for the same, and we spent a little bit of that because the calls weren't coming in, and I wasn't gonna take that $18,000 and go buy myself a new set of tires or whatever. We appreciate the money being there for the county. And what I'm here for today is to kind of try to hammer in the fact that I know $18,000 this day and age is a lot of money, because just as we heard, it might be something that helps keep somebody else alive and so forth like that. But in fact, our money, we're not going to use it if we don't have the need to use it. But you want to look at it as an insurance policy for the county, that if we did come up with some big problems, and we don't know what those are going to be, avian influenza may be one of them. We don't know. I'm part of another task force right now. We're working on things with the poultry industry here throughout the Willamette Valley. But I want to keep Polk County in the loop as far as the program goes. Craig knows this. Once a county would drop out of the program, it's more difficult. You lose matching dollars and so forth. I can't remember exactly what the matching dollars are this year, but it's appropriate to what the county puts in. A fully funded program gets about $30,000 in federal and state monies. So I know, we put together a report. It's very little. I think we've responded to like 5 different coyote incidents in the county. We've done some non-lethal beaver activities within the county. We now have a non-lethal beaver specialist that it doesn't cost the county a dime to have that person here. It's part of a bigger federal program that if a wolf gets delisted, it may go away as well. But it's something that you see from that funding, and that can be something to help the road department out as far as putting in pond levelers, devices to keep water flowing through culverts on roadways. If the road system had a bad situation where it's flooded all the time, we can come in and at very little or no cost to the county, we can go through and do that. Or it may be where we use some of the funds that we have. If it's going to save a $100,000 roadway, to put in a $15,000 pond leveler, I think that the outcome is way beneficial to the county. So, like I said, there's not a lot of numbers. I put a printout together to hand out to the commission. And in the past, Craig and I've had this conversation, you're like, oh, I don't know, there's not much to report, but I've ridden Landon very, very hard this year as far as communicating with me, communicating with ODF&W. And I had a call with ODF&W last week, and I'm like, what's going on? Why aren't we? And they're not receiving the calls that we used to receive 5 years ago. A lot of mountain lion calls used to be right here around the Dallas. And for whatever reason, we're not receiving
I
those.
think people have given up, Brian.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. With the state,
Right.
and they don't know you.
Right, and that's just where my last thing, and we're late getting to the party on this. And one thing I would like to set the groundwork for next year, I'd like to have this young man sitting at the county fair, even just at a table with business cards, some leaflets and so forth, to get his name out there and get our recognition back into the county.
You are signed up, yes?
No, we're not for the county this year, for the fair this year. And that lies on me. We've had a few things going on federally. Like we didn't know if any of us were going to be here at all. And tomorrow we still don't know. We're going through a massive reorganization federally that we find out in the next 24 to 48 hours how our program is going to be affected by that. I think our field people will all still be here. It's just the overall management of what things are doing. We lost our state director this year, Kevin Christensen, took one of the buyouts. So our new state director is our old state director, Jeff Flores, from the state director in California, is now covering Oregon as well. Our 3 district supervisors have split up the responsibilities of the past state director and are doing that, most of that legwork, because Jeff doesn't have the time to come to Oregon to go to ODF&W commission meetings and other stuff like that. So it's been for my last year on the job, or the year and a half on the job, is going to be quite trying to try to keep things going. And it's my goal to keep it. I believe in what we do, and I don't want to see it go to the wayside. And we definitely need some rebuilding and name recognition, as Craig said. We are different than the state of Oregon. ODF&W and Wildlife Services, we work for ODF&W and as Wildlife Services, mitigating wildlife damage. Mainly cougars and bears is what we work with for ODF&W. We're their go-to as far as that goes. But like Craig said, the folks don't want to call ODF&W. I believe firmly that a great deal of this stuff is being done the barnyard way, throughout the hills of Polk County. And all that does is put your citizens at risk, because if the OSP gets wind of something going on and somebody doing something wrong, then your citizens are now tenants of the county, and you get to feed them there. So it's beneficial to us to be out there to help administer and take care of these issues. I don't want to see that go away. And I appreciate the longevity that we've had with the county. It's been a longstanding agreement that we've had to address a lot of problems. I just want to make sure that we're still here 10 years from now, being able to address whatever issues come forth then.
I don't have a whole lot to add. It seems like public outreach, yeah, that's the number one issue. And so we've tried to explore a few different avenues. I think the county fairs have been beneficial in other locations throughout the state of getting like grassroots outreach with individuals we'd be directly working for. So
Yeah, I bet if you have a booth in Wallowa County, you get a lot of attendance.
yeah, well,
The booth is
pretty well known in Wallowa County, given all the wolf issues up there. So
Yeah.
folks know us a lot more in some of those eastern counties with those conflicts. So trying to do the same thing here in Polk County. It's the goal.
I honestly, I can't think of a time in my 15 years here that I've actually had a true conversation with anyone in the county about predatory animals, or even skunks and raccoons for that matter.
Right.
But I mean, again, as we've talked about, and you guys all know, I've had a lot of conversations about depredation animals like elk and geese. And we all struggle with that and essentially have to tell citizens there's almost nothing we can do. And of course, as Brian knows, you guys all know, I've been deeply involved in the elk issue.
Yes.
In South County. And I still haven't seen a communication really about our strategy, other than we got a little bit more of a special hunt section opened up for that. So fingers crossed that somebody's counting, the success so that we can see. But I can tell you right now, on the properties that I'm managing and neighbors with, we're not seeing any changes. It's just the destruction is remarkable. Geese, of course, have been this way for a couple generations minimum.
Right.
And lots of damage there. So, and some of us all say, well, those are your animals.
Right.
Sorry.
When it comes to the goose issue, we can facilitate some assistance there through U.S. Fish and Wildlife for helping folks get the depredation permit for either Canada geese or cackling geese in the valley. So that's something that we can do, Brian and myself. Landowners, farmers can get a permit to kill geese outside of hunt seasons. Anytime the cacklers are down in the valley and resident geese throughout the year, they need a recommendation form from us. And that's something I do regularly for folks across the Northwest District. So that's not something that like the county gets billed for.
Do you have any sense of the engagement for a county, for example, to that program? Is it staying steady, or have you seen a decline in that engagement?
I'd say it's pretty steady, but it's location specific. These calls come from the farmers and ranchers in Klamath County. That's a big hotspot, and our Southwest District folks facilitate that. And up here, yeah, it's Sovies Island, and it kind of pops up. There's not really a pattern or whatever, but yeah, there's calls. It's pretty steady, and it's kind of all over the place throughout the valley and Sovies Island and even the coast as well, dealing with goose issues. But those calls can come my way, and I'll help folks out wherever they're at in the district. That's part of what I do on a regular basis. So that's not part of like Landon's county funding. That's separate.
Right. It's one thing along with that. Once again, it comes right back to exposure. There's a lot of folks that are experiencing damage that don't realize that, us doing the Form 37, that they can actually go out. I think it costs them $100 for the permit for 10 geese. But at least we facilitate that. That's something we've done forever. For as long as I can remember, we facilitated the Form 37 so folks can at least help address it. In the past, we've had programs that were funded through the Grass Seed Council, I believe, where we actually had a goose hazing program. We had like 10 people throughout the Willamette Valley doing a massive hazing thing. But the problem's still here. You're just moving it from one neighbor to the next. Population control has never been big on that, but avian influenza, as far as the cackling geese goes, I'd be curious to see what we see this year come back from up north. Last year, when they came back, we literally were witnessing hundreds of geese dying every day in fields throughout the Willamette Valley. We called them zombie geese. There'd be 500 geese fly in, 400 and some geese that fly off, and there would be 8 or 10 just staggering around a grass seed field that you literally could walk up to. They're just so ill that they couldn't move. You couldn't get away from you.
And that's affecting cackling geese, the biggest, depredating issue for grass seed farmers and wheat and clover and everything else. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many come back. There's hunting restrictions this year and expectations of continued population decline. So bad for the cacklers, maybe a little bit of relief for the farmers in terms of overall numbers. You might have, 700 geese in your field instead of 1,000, but that's where that population's at this year.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Questions?
A question. So you mentioned, well, I guess this is sort of a question. You mentioned tabling at the fair and other events. When people Google for your services or look at social media, do you have any?
No.
Which of you is the social media?
The agency.
Yeah, none of us.
The agency, the agency has, their website.
Yeah.
Because of this beautiful federal government thing, we're fairly restricted to what we can do. We can't advertise.
I mean, do you have materials online that could be referred?
If you go to the right website.
If you go to the website, it'll direct you to our state office, kind of contact, there's a phone number and
List of services. If you're experiencing XYZ, call X.
Right.
Mhm.
A lot of it gets run, it ends up being run through the extension office, the county extension service through most of the counties. Lately, what we've gotten more calls on than anything in Polk County, I've actually responded to a few people having sick raccoons in their yards, or a car runs over a raccoon or a deer and it lands in some people's yard. Nobody will touch that animal. No one will. That's not, well, DFW, no, we don't do that. So we'll be the ones that go out and pick with the chickens just to try to help people, that they aren't set up to deal with that kind of thing. Yeah. But getting to the county fair thing, that's it. Like I said, it's not really legal for us to advertise because we can't compete with private industry. But the county fair isn't an advertisement. It's just hey, this is me, this is what we do.
Gotcha.
So that's honestly where we need to be with the program. That's
You guys need help with that for Polk County for this season?
I mean, it's only 2 weeks away or 10 days away, and I don't know what the feasibility would be to get a table. We're not needing anything fancy. We're not fancy people.
Could staff it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll get a booth.
Yeah, we need this.
Okay.
education, absolutely.
Okay.
So, we'll figure out
I'll be in touch.
how to help you.
Okay.
Contact Craig. Craig knows.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would appreciate it. I really truly think that will be something that we can get that help us.
Squeeze you in with a balloon art vendor.
That's fine. You know what? Benton County used to put us right across from the tiger that would urinate over everybody. So, no,
We have Folk Soil and Water, and we have extension there as well. And so if we can, I will go to work on it.
Okay, thank you. I'd
Staff it,
appreciate
I'll
that.
do it.
I'd appreciate that.
Absolutely. Do we have questions about? I can't remember. If I had questions about the billing, where are we at in the?
Billing's fine. It's the same as
Yeah, it's just,
last year. They bill us on a monthly or whatever.
Quarterly and some,
Whenever we reimburse them and all that, and if they don't spend the 18, they don't. They don't we don't cut them a check for 18.
right. It's not it's a pay-per-use. And that's, I've been trying to be very diligent about that. We in no way want to just burn Polk County's money just because it's there.
yeah, it wouldn't take very long. You wouldn't.
No, but in all honesty, in my experience, I'll take up a lot of time in the court here, but give you a little information. In my longevity of being a trapper, because that's what I was for quite a while. I literally had pigeon projects throughout Marion County that were bigger than what we have for Polk County. Because it was big industry, they had a lot of problem. And, we'd have a $10,000, $15,000 program, just taking care of pigeons on some facilities. But that's where there was a huge need. That need may be right here in town. But the folks here in town don't know that it's available for them to get the assistance, because there's a breakdown sometimes when they'll call ODF&W. They don't call the Adair office where we'd have Greg work with us. they'll call the headquarters at ODF&W and they'll get passed through to a whole litmus list of people that have nothing to do with helping the citizens of the county. That's where we need the direct contact with the citizens.
Well, we can also work on trying to put something up on our own website.
Landon's on your guys' website.
Yeah.
On a county, I can't remember where.
So we have a special section that Nicole manages for the most part that we could put up occasionally, maybe quarterly, just remember,
Yeah.
you know, Wildlife Services is out here and
Columbia County, we did that with Columbia County as well. And it's been, we're, you know, it's in its infancy because they just came back as a program. And we just got through, organized the whole, we had a little fair booth there right beside the Dairy Women's booth. So we had ice cream right next door, which gets me
you're not gonna
there.
get that at Polk County. Nice swing though. Swing and a miss.
Anyhow, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. All right, I'm told we don't have a need for an executive session, so do we have anything else for the board?
I have nothing.
Okay, with that, we are adjourned. Please